All right. Well, hey, Karen, how's it going?
They're really good, thanks.
Good, good. I just want to say thank you so much for time just to kind of share about your experience during the 6 month whole body restorative and
Mhm.
just excited to hear from you. Anyone who's watching, I just want to say, excuse any rattles you hear in the background. I've got my baby in the background here, just being taken care of, but playing. So yeah, we're just gonna dive in. So before you joined in on the program, could you explain sort of what you were struggling with?
Yeah, it was overwhelm. I wasn't really eating consistently, like I wasn't eating regularly. Um, it's tricky, isn't it, to go back
Yeah.
like to where you were? And then also, I was just finding that I wasn't eating like a good variety of food. Like even having the knowledge I have, because I was so caught up in what was going on at the time, I was just didn't have that clarity as to what I needed and what I used to do when I was healthier.
And how was the struggle affecting you in your life, like in your daily regimen?
Yeah, I was having trouble making decisions. I just wasn't clear in the head at all. I had a lot of brain fog. I've got a few notes because when I knew that I was going to be jumping on here with you, I was thinking, oh, now how did I feel? What was
Mm,
going on back then?
yeah.
And because you go through a lot, as you go through the program, you work through different stages. So it's just going back and reflecting and remembering,
Hmm.
and and also not. I didn't realize how much not doing what I used to do was affecting me, because it's so easy to get into a rut and forget what used to support you and what used to work, and
Right.
because you just get busy in your life and doing things and just doing instead of living. So I fell into that rut. So I
Mm,
noticed that fairly quickly, but then it did take me a little bit of time to get back out of that as well.
awesome. Yeah, you got to get into that rhythm. And it's interesting. Um, I'm sure just what you said, you have things that work for your body and then you use them for a week and then you're like, okay, I'm going to take a break. And then you totally forget and you get into that rut and then you go back to it and you're like, oh, right, this thing worked. I forgot this, simple
Yeah,
thing that I could have done. So yeah,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It's crazy the way the mind works, isn't it?
It is. There are so many things that we can forget, whether it's I don't know, a supplement that helped, or really what our bodies and our minds have gone through and where we were in like
Hmm.
a really hard struggle. So it's nice being out of it, but it's important to
Yeah.
reflect sometimes and see where we were before. So
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what breakthroughs happened for you during your time in the program?
One of the main ones was my routine. So working out what I needed, what time of the day, the importance of slowing down, uh, the importance of pulling back
Hmm.
to create that time for myself. So I started to get back into spending more time with myself, going for morning walks or just exercising or stretching at home in the morning. So I was just putting myself first in the mornings,
Good.
which is something I've always done and always found supportive. But I just let that go. I don't know why, but it just went by the wayside. The other breakthroughs was the you showing me like all the different places where you can access information. So whether it was recipes, whether because we both live in different countries, like I know it's the internet, but I wasn't aware of a lot of those uh, websites or where you could find certain resources.
Right.
So that was really good, and that was really interesting and supportive as well. So
Good.
it's and also the fact that even with our time zones, we were still able to communicate with each other in between the calls.
Hmm.
That was really good, and I guess that's the beauty of technology as well,
Yes.
because you can leave a message for each other when you need to, when it works within your time zone or as stuff comes up, and then the other person gets to it when they receive it, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. And with your time zone, I always thought that we were completely flipped, but I've noticed there's actually a pretty good buffer. It's like when you say good night, it's usually 3:50 at night here. So I'm like, we still have time, it's not like 3 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, so that was something I don't know, I learned quickly with you. But pretty cool.
Yeah.
So was there any kind of big aha moment for you? Like I know in the modules there was a lot of content, we're digging into things like mitochondria, heavy metals, things that affect you at the root. You're learning about your routine, different systems. How
Yeah.
did that all, did any of that kind of surprise you or
Yeah, the vagus nerve, I hadn't learned a lot about the vagus nerve before. So I found that really interesting.
mm,
And even now, every now and then I'll do, the massage thing
okay.
that's in that video. And that's really helpful. That's good. And I find it really handy when I'm just sitting or standing stationary for a long period of time, because I start to feel stagnant. So then I'll walk away, and then I'll do the little, I call it a massage that the lady has in the video. Yeah. Yeah. So I do that, and I just find that it resets me. And then I go back to my desk, and then I'm a lot more productive. So it's having tools like that as well that I found and do still find really supportive and beneficial. And it's the information. I really like how the system that you use, like the platform that you use for the program, for the information, because, you can go through it at your own pace. Like there was some weeks where I was on track, and then there was other weeks where I fell, for me, a bit behind.
Right.
So then I was playing catch up on the weekends, do a few weeks worth, for example, of content over the one weekend, but I didn't feel the pressure to be up to a certain point each week or each month. I just knew that I could do it at my own pace, and there was plenty of time to do it. And I find I learn a lot better that way, and I implement a lot more, and I follow through a lot more when it is that format, that delivery style, instead of, okay, Karen, you've got to have this done by that date, and you've got to have this done by that date.
Hard deadline, right?
Yeah. We both know that doesn't work with health.
Right.
Yeah.
That's such a great point. If I may, I mean, as you've seen, there are other clients who go through the program, and I always make a point of saying your body is different, your journey, your timeline is going to look different. Everything I'm teaching you here is going to help you from now and into the future. So this could be a 2-year process, but you have the tools, you know what you need to look into, the different people you might need to reach out to, different practitioners, let's say, maybe even like tests to look into. So yeah, it's just a journey. And
yes. Yeah. And it was good too, because you create a community as well, which is lovely. And you can see what other people are going through as well, which is really nice. So you don't feel like you're on your own. Like you can work with a coach such as yourself, and you get that amazing support and reassurance and the tools and processes and everything. But sometimes for some people, they can still feel like they're on their own, even though they're receiving that when they don't see what other people are going through that you're working with. So it's nice that there's that chat available where there's other people who can put in questions or anything like that. And so and you also learn from that as well. So you may not think of something for yourself is coming up, but then you read someone else is going through something, and then it reminds you, oh, hang on a minute, I'm experiencing that at the moment too.
Right.
So yeah.
That is an excellent point, because I mean, I know even from my perspective, being in other coaching programs, you think everybody has it together. Here I am, like I'm the one falling behind. And then people share, and you're like, I'm actually ahead. They're behind, or like they're doing exactly what I'm doing. I'm not alone in this. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's great. So you're right. It's like we sometimes we expect perfection from ourselves, and that's not what I expect from you or from anyone else.
Yeah.
Just to learn and come with an open mind,
No, it's really good. And like I do have a better routine now. I am very much a routine orientated person.
Mm.
And I just find I get all my daily self-care in when I'm routine. But then when I say I'm a routine person, I don't beat myself up if I can't do it all, or if it's just not fitting in with how I'm feeling on the day. So, I might go for a walk today, but then tomorrow my body may not feel like it. So I'll do something else. I'll do something that's slower or more gentle, or so it's
Right.
and the program's really good for reassuring all of that with you, that it's important to listen to your body and to move for what it needs at that time. And then also not just with that, but with your food as well, like learning what style of eating does your body need right now, but it may not be like that forever. It may change in the future. But at the moment, what do you need?
Yep. Great point. Great point. Yeah.
And it's not always what you think.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I had a recent client and, she jumped into the program. She's like, I was expecting we're all going to do this one thing together. And that's what you have to do. And she's like, no, it's like a la carte. Like you get to decide like what's best for your body. So yeah, that's how it works. It's like, there's a general approach, but then there's a lot of specific niches and changes, per person. So
yeah. Well, it's personalized. Like, even though you've got the portal there, it's personalized because there's not so many options. That's overwhelming, but there's options there for you to choose from when it comes to your style of eating. And there's that space, that time to play with different ideas.
Yeah.
Like I played, I think it was with keto, but then I thought that's what I needed, but then I learned that wasn't what I needed.
Right.
And then I tried, I think it was a little bit of vegan, but then no, that wasn't right for me. So it's, but you can only try things and give them a go and not be too harsh on yourself if it doesn't work out.
Right. Yep. Yeah. It is a trial and error sometimes. So,
and
you just learn more about your body, you become more in tune, and it makes you a better health advocate for yourself. So, yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you might have answered this already, but kind of what are you excited about or sort of looking forward to now that you've had this breakthrough?
Yeah, I'm a lot more relaxed. We're trying different ways of eating now.
Okay.
So I'm in the middle of switching things up again.
Okay.
And I like change. So it's good to be relaxed around the idea and the mindset of just trying different things. And there's not really any particular reason why I'm changing things up, like health-wise. But it's just that, I like variety. So I like to cook in different ways, and I like to eat seasonally and all those sorts of things. So obviously we're in a different season now from a few months ago. So, the fresh produce at the farmer's market is a bit different. And so it's, I find that exciting and fun. And I think it's good for you too, for your gut and everything, to change things up with the seasons. And it's, it keeps your health, it just bumps it up that little bit further.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good parallel.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very cool. So how, I guess you kind of already answered that. So just one last question for you. And any other benefits or gratitude you'd like to share about, anything that might help someone else who's thinking about, joining the program or jumping in?
Yeah. What I would say is that the program isn't what you might necessarily think, as in it's not a hardcore, like I was saying before, super structured. Like there's the structure there to take you through the lessons, the modules in a certain order, and that's for a reason. So, don't think, oh, I already, I don't need to do that because I'm already doing it, and go to skip ahead, because Nicole's put it in a certain order for a reason.
Right.
And, like, you're the professional, you're the coach. So what I would encourage people to do is just to relax about it and just go through the process.
Awesome. Great advice.
And your body will go through what it needs to go through at each stage. And it may be frustrating, but it's just what you've got to do. Like I didn't find it frustrating myself but I've had so many health issues with different things over the years. I learned years ago that you've just got to relax about it and just go through the processes. But not everybody's been through, through that stage like yourself and I, where, we've learned from the past where you've just got to do what people are encouraging you to do, give it a go, and then just see how your body goes with it. And they know that they can reach out to you. And that's one thing I would say for sure too, is don't hesitate with reaching out to you for support, because if you don't do it now, you're just going to be in the same position.
Right.
Like in 6 months' time, 12 months' time, a month's time, nothing will change if you don't change what you're doing now. So if you want any form of change with your health and well-being, then you need to start putting things into place now. Even if the thing that you're putting into place now is organising to have a chat with you, or just having a look to have a deeper look into the type of work that you do and if they feel it's a right fit. And even if it's I'm not too sure, it's still important to have a chat with you, to go into it deeper so that they can hear from you how would it fit for them.
Right.
Because everybody's at a different stage with their health, with their life, with what's going on in their life, with their lifestyle stresses and so on. And that's the other thing too, is that I underestimated the impact of stress on the human body. Even though I know a fair bit about it, I underestimated how much it was affecting me as an individual. So working with you helped me realise how much it was affecting me and how I could start to turn that around. So, I just found that really helpful, because especially if you're a fairly independent person, like sometimes you feel like you're made out of armor, but you're not.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I would say, is that there's no harm in reaching out to you if they're unsure as to whether your style of work is right for them. There's no harm in reaching out, organising, booking a call, having a chat, and because this is how you talk,
right,
to potential clients, is exactly like this.
Yeah.
And it's very comforting. Do you know what I mean? Like you hold a very comfortable space. You don't hold a pressured space as well to commit right then and there. However, what I would say about that is, if you're watching this right now and you're thinking about inquiring with Nicole, just do it, because the longer you think about it, the more anxious you may become about it, and then that's just going to cause inflammation in your body anyway. So just book it.
There you go. It's true. It's, doctors will say, maybe you're stressed. I mean, stress is a part of it, and a part of it for, more than some others,
Yes.
But yeah. And thank you. I mean, there's so many points just to kind of touch on, like we're peeling back the onion, right? The layers of the onion. So instead of going from module 1 to module 5 back to module 2, like you need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got to go through that process. So even if you get behind a little bit, that's okay. Life is a journey, and you're just going to keep going, and you're going to keep learning. And transparency is so important. My best clients, like yourself, those they're the people who reach out, who say, hey, I'm going to this restaurant. What do we eat? Hey, I have had such a rough night, and it was such a terrible night, and I had bloat, and I had this. What can I do to help this? Or whatever it might be. Those clients excel quickly when they're more transparent and open. So great points there. And that way we're just talking more, and keeping you accountable. I'm able to support you in the ways that your body needs support during that time. So, it's that personalized touch, you could say.
Yes. Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that.
That's okay. And it's also, a lot of people feel alone these days, I notice. Right. So just knowing that once you sign up to a program, or you commit to improving your health and you're working with Nicole, that it's not just that support, but that you're not alone, because not everybody in your family or your social circle or your community will understand why you're making changes. Right. And what I would like to say there is that no one needs to understand why you're doing it.
Mm, good point. Good point. Just yourself, like trust the process, trust yourself, and what you are doing is good for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's such a true point. You might not have your whole family on board, and they may come later in life, and that's okay. I find that in a lot of cases that does happen. It's almost like mirror neurons. They're just watching what you're doing, and they're noticing how you're improving, and they're like, can I try that? Can I talk to Nicole? Like, can I do that too? You know,
Yeah.
it's curiosity. But it didn't kill the cat. It actually made him better. So, you know, but yeah, and just a last note to anyone watching, like Karen said, I'm not pushy. I'm not your typical coach who's going to be like, no, you need to sign up right now. Otherwise, the way I work is we just have a conversation. You can reach out to me through Instagram, through Facebook. We can do voice messaging. Email if you prefer that, thegutdetoxcoach@gmail.com. You can find me at the Gut Detox Coach on really any handle, but we just have a conversation and you really get to share about your story and what has happened and what brought you where you are today. Because there is a path for you. And I mean, there are different paths for you, but it doesn't mean that my path is the right one. It doesn't mean that, this other coach is the right person. So I try to help you find the best solution to what you're struggling with, because there are so many professionals out there. I'm just one of them. So if I can help, I'll let you know. But if I don't think I'm the best person for you, then I'll find you the best person, because I want you to find that help for yourself. So yeah, thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I want to make sure to be cognizant of your time. So I just really appreciate you being open and transparent and sharing about your experience. So I hope
I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I want to say have a good night, but I think it's a good morning, right?
It
Right
is
now?
here, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So enjoy your day, and I know
Thank
I'll
you.
be seeing you, yes, through Facebook. All right. Well, thank
Yes.
you. Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.